Well, hello, my valued listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Living in Your Power. I'm your host, Dr. Marleen Greenleaf, and today we're continuing our February theme of embracing love and connection. Now, this episode is intentional, and I am glad you are tuning in today because we're going to explore President's Day, of course, what leadership should look like, and whether our current president is embodying love and connection. We're going to touch on Black History Month. Despite being canceled in some areas, we are still celebrating Black excellence every day. And we're going to touch on the importance of self-care, because yesterday was a holiday, and instead of engaging with the world, I took a me day to disconnect and do what I wanted to do. That's why this episode is Tuesday and not Monday as the episodes normally come out. But we have a lot to unpack, and I promise you we'll connect it all in a way that leaves you feeling empowered. So let's dive in. Now, President's Day is meant to be a time when we reflect on the leadership of our nation, what it means to serve the people, uphold democracy, and lead with integrity. But I have to ask, does our current leadership reflect love and connection? We're seeing executive orders that are dividing rather than uniting us as a nation. Federal employees are being unfairly terminated, leaving hardworking people in uncertain situations. And beyond that, there's a growing question about who's really in charge. Leadership is not just about power. It's about connection. A great leader understands the needs of the people, listens, and fosters unity. And right now, many people feel disconnected from the government that is supposed to serve them. So, as we reflect on President's Day, I challenge us to think about what true leadership should look like, not just in politics, but in our own lives, at work, in our families, and in our communities. Now let's switch gears a bit for a moment and talk about something personal. Now, as you know, like I said, yesterday was a holiday, and I did something I really rarely do. I took a me day. I know I talk about it, about how self-care is important, but it's something that I am learning. So what I did was I disengaged. I did not engage in social media. There was no responding to emails or text messages. No business was conducted. Instead, I did things that made me feel grounded and refreshed. I did some house cleaning. I did some shopping, and I repotted 2 of my plants. It wasn't fancy, but it was necessary. And let me tell you, taking time for yourselves is one of the greatest ways to embrace love and connection. Why, you may ask? Because when you pour into yourself, you show up better for others. How often do we give ourselves permission to disconnect? To do something just because it brings us joy? If you haven't done that in a while, let this be your reminder. Now let's talk about something else that is deeply personal and important to me, Black History Month. There are places that are trying to erase it, to cancel Black History Month, as if our history and contributions can just be ignored. But let me be clear. Black excellence will not be erased. Every day this month, we're celebrating Black leaders, inventors, artists, and change makers through daily posts across all my social media platforms. We're amplifying the richness of our culture and the impact Black people have had on this world. We are not waiting for permission to celebrate ourselves. So if you haven't been seeing Black History Month content where you are, make sure you're creating the conversation. Teach your children, support Black businesses, and share stories of Black excellence. This is our history, our legacy, and it's up to us to keep it alive. Now, as we close this episode, let's remember, true leadership is about connection, not division. So let's hold our leaders accountable to the standards of service, unity, and integrity. Self-care is not selfish. So take time to disconnect, reset, and do what feeds your soul. And Black excellence cannot be erased. So no matter what policies try to silence us, we celebrate our history, our culture, and our power. I want you to reflect on leadership. What does it mean to lead with love? Take a me day again. If you can't do a full day, take a few hours just for you. And again, celebrate Black History Month. Share something, whether it's a historical fact, a Black-owned business, or a personal story. I want to thank you for joining me today on this episode of Living in Your Power. Embrace love, seek connection, and most importantly, take care of you. I want you to live boldly in your power today. And remember, if it gets tough, just breathe. You still got the strength to rise. So until next time, dear listeners, stay safe, stay empowered, and I'll see you back here soon. Continue to live in your power.